just gonna, I can leave my papers on the side.
Not a confession.
It's not a confession, even though we're at the church.
I think it is.
We talk about this whenever it comes up and we start talking about it. It never gets out. It rarely gets out to like people that outside of the family.
No, I appreciate you guys.
I don't talk about it because there's never a purpose, but I think this is cool.
Yeah.
I think this is cool. I like to see where this goes.
I spent almost every single day here for over 10 years, like here by myself and doing the liquor order downstairs and walking in here, and I never had any fear. I wasn't ever afraid, even though the stories of it being like haunted, but
So no feelings?
I felt, it was like almost like I was here yesterday. It was almost like it was something that I never left. And I looked in the wine bar and it was a gush of memories that all of a sudden came back. Things that you haven't thought about or I haven't thought about in years and years. And
I just love it. It's been my home since for almost 11 years now.
I would do it again, and I'd have never left. What a long, strange trip it's been. It was great. Just great people. And I miss them. I do miss talking to them. And hopefully soon, my wife and I will get out there and see all you guys.
I'd say, wow, we have a lot of memories, a lot of shared memories together. I would imagine the stories that we could tell each other, the reliving things that we've all done together. We would be up all night talking and laughing and embarrassed, and it's the camaraderie and the family that you develop in this business is different than any other business.
I feel home. I feel at ease when I'm at home. I'm actually more stressed when I'm at my actual house.
Why is that?
Yeah, just family drama. But like when I come here, everything goes away. All my stress goes away because I know what I'm doing, and it's fun.
I agree with that. Everybody at Viva was my family. We were all family. We all hung out together after work, and I gave people rides to work and in the morning, and we hung out together, went to concerts together, went to the Deadbeat Club together. We were family. There's a core of people there that was there for a certain period of time that we were all family.
No, I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
Really?
Yes.
5 years, you don't have one bad memory?
No, I don't.
I don't believe it.
I don't. I'm trying to think of it, and I don't.
I mean, if you don't, good for you.
I don't. I really don't. I can't think of any.
Good.
Dedicated, passionate, caring. I've never worked for a group that loved so hard and could get real. Just really awesome people, and I feel like I know about their lives and they know about mine, and it's okay to talk about things that normally you wouldn't talk about at work. I'm just so grateful to know you. I'm so honored to work with a team that fought so hard to give back to the community, to respect the safety during a pandemic, who tries to do well and do right by people, and who's passionate about the work they do and that I can rely on. Just good people. You're such wonderful people, and I'm so glad to know you and to work with you.
Soco for me is actually like a place, almost like a make-believe place like Neverland. Like we actually did the branding of Soco to encompass a physical location, right? But that physical location became like my world, you know, and you don't, and I think that there are other small businesses that have that same family feel, but this is such a big family. You know, when you think of a small business, maybe it might be 10 or 12 people and there's that real family vibe, like, but you know, we're talking here hundreds of people that are in the Soco family. And then that's not even count, and those are just the employees. What about our regulars that used to come out every, you know? Are they part of the Soco family? Most definitely.
Well, it was the best time of my life. I mean, I'm 51 now, and those were my late 20s all the way to early 40s, and it was the best experience.
Because every time me or my brother are like, Dad, why don't you just retire? You just gotta retire, live your life and, you know, do whatever you love. And he's like, I am doing what I love.
It's a people business. If you don't do that, if you only cares about the money, then it defeats the purpose of doing it. I love what I'm doing.
And so, you know, it's been so long, I would say 30 years at least. So they're hiring police security there. And I can't remember how I got involved in that. I was working on a SWAT and there were some SWAT guys. So I went up there to work security for Regas at the Deadbeat Club. That's when we first met. So it had to be kind of late 80s, I think.
Okay, so I would get there at say 3 o'clock and work till 3 or 4 in the morning. No, 6 days a week. My only day off was Monday. That's how I lost all my hair.
Regas. And the downstairs was Deadbeat Club. The upstairs was a jazz club.
But the upstairs was, you said it was very nice, the upstairs?
It was, we made it ugly. It was, at tables and chairs. And I was making $200 a show. Regas offered me $50, but I liked him. And he said, I'll remember you. I started working there.
And so my first gig with Soco was answering the phone, basically, and kind of taking care of the bathrooms every once in a while.
And he said, why would I hire you? I have a stack of applications this big. Everyone in town wants to fucking work here. Why do I want to hire you? Yeah, he was arrogant. And I was like, this guy's never gonna call me. And so anyway, I went home. I was living in Highlands Ranch, just moved here. This was like 1990, so, I don't know, it was 20 some years ago, right when the church opened, whatever year that was, yep. And he called me in a snowstorm. The guy that was working the wine bar, his name was Patrick. I remember this like it was yesterday. He didn't show up for work. There was a huge blizzard. He said, if you come right now, you'll have a job.
My first interaction with Coclubs was actually my first week of college. They said, "Oh, we're going to this club called the Church," and I was like, "Oh, that's a funny name." I didn't realize it was an actual church.
Okay.
I spent probably less than 15 minutes there. I remember getting in, I was pretty hammered, and I just saw like the lights on the altar and like people grinding in the church. I was like, what's going on? And I had to leave. I left immediately. So it was funny because, later on I ended up working for the group, and, I would go over to the church for like, I'd see the goth nights and stuff like that. And, but that's one memory that'll always stick with me, is that, that was really the first time that I was introduced to the group.
I showed up at Rhubar with my resume, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "George Bardwell sent me," and he's like, "Fuck, it's you?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I know." And I was like, "Just, I've been trying to get a job with you. Just hire me. Just give me a chance." And then he's like, "Let's cut the bullshit. The only reason I'm gonna hire you is because of George. I'm gonna give you the wings up to you to fly." I'm like, great.
Exactly. This whole thing is destiny. So I find myself at the living room, and it was packed, like hundreds of people. The energy was great. And I was like, I need a job. I had been working in coffee shops for years. And I was like, well, if I can sling a coffee, I can sling a cocktail. So I was like, I want to work here. And I spoke to someone, and they're like, well, they're doing this big hiring event tomorrow. If you want to work here, come back in the morning and you'll talk to all the managers and maybe you'll get hired. So I showed up the next morning with a resume, and like I said, I had never worked in a bar. I hadn't been to many bars. So I showed up in I had sneakers and a backpack with me, and all these women are wearing like corsets and skinny jeans and like booty shorts, trying to like get hired to work at the clubs.
It was exciting. It was exciting. It was an exciting thing to be a part of. I mean, he was doing something that nobody else had done, And I think everyone who was a part of it knew that this was going to be, this nightclub was going to change nightclubs. I mean, this was going to be something that people come to see, that, people come from all over the country, to maybe even all over the world.
Inspiration. I think the teamwork, the camaraderie with my employees inspires me.
Did you owe something to someone?
Of course, I owe a lot to my employees, my friends, sure, man. Of course. It's easy to get to number one, but can you stay at number one? And I'm not saying we're number one yet. It's hard to stay there because everybody's done it for you. They try to take your DJs, your bartenders, but they cannot take one thing from us. That's our soul. We are who we are. We became friends to everybody. You would never come to the Rigas Cafe and find two tables, two customers on a table. You find them on this side, next to each other. Because when I got busy, I put two other people you never heard in your life right next to you, and they ate it right in front of you. And it became a community.
Bro, they've been making music since before we had fucking homes and cars. On sticks and fucking whatever. Music is music. This is very much essential.
I mean, essential is a tough word. Would humanity die without nightclubs? Probably not, but I think they bring a lot of joy. And I think it'd be a shittier world without them.
Right? Like, if you're sitting home, stressed out or worried about things or feeling depressed or feeling disconnected, if you go to this specific place to dance, you're gonna feel differently. It's going to shift your energy, it's going to shift your emotion. You're gonna feel differently afterwards.
I think that absolutely, if there was ever a question whether these things were essential, there's no question in my mind now. The nightclub and the bar scene provides that opportunity for people not only to let loose, but to have that opportunity to like either connect with their friends or to connect with someone else romantically. And that's important. That is essential for people. People need love, they need connection, they need those human experiences. And
2020, did you get depressed?
Oh yeah. I had a couple breakdowns in front of Amanda. It was kind of freaking out. Like, what am I doing? Like, why? Like, what? Government telling me I can't work and then telling me I have to get another job. It's like, what? I never lost my job. So how could you tell me I'm not job attached and not give me like the unemployment stuff? And that was a bad time at the moment.
I think people need to have a release, whether that be dancing or coming out, just mingling with friends, being social. I think it helps with anxiety if you're a person that needs to be around a social gathering. I think music is a great release either way, whether you're just standing and listening and feeling it or dancing.
I think the two biggest ones would be when he brought me here into the church on the most packed night I could possibly imagine, where there was like thousands of people in here. And we walked through the church and everybody was just smiling, laughing. There were smiles on everyone's faces. It was just amazing. It's like you walked in and you were just like, wow.
I mean, for some people, no, but it is essential in the fact that you get to go out, you get to meet new people, you get to see and experience new things. And I think that's vital for just like being able to keep your mind from going crazy like we have been with being secluded.
I mean, we used to have customers that would come in before the night opens at the beginning of the night for like 2-3 hours and not order a drink and just dance. Some would just spin in the corner for themselves and just in their own world. And
I mean, I think bars and nightclubs is a foundation of a community, of a city. You know, this is as much of it as a club, it's a meeting place to meet people from all walks of life, to employ people, for people to let loose and enjoy themselves.
The energy in here is, you know, it transcends regular life, and it's something that you can look forward to throughout the week, and it's magical. At times it's magical.
Right? I mean, there's only so much healing that we can access without incorporating the physical body. The physical body houses it all. We have to bring the body into the conversation, and I think one of the most fun ways to do it is through dance.
Yeah, for sure. People need one-on-one action. They need to people need people.
What are you gonna do? You're soaking wet. Why are you afraid of the rain? In business, if you believe in something, it's gonna happen. But be willing to change. You need to be like the water. You need to change. We feel vulnerable right now. And I think we appreciate the customer more. I think we appreciate each other more. And each other's safety. What if we open and people got sick in our clubs? How would you feel? But I think where we are right now is exactly where we want to be. We're not ready yet to open. We open when we're ready.
Would you consider 2020 the
business year of your life?
No. I consider it the best year of my life. It made me appreciate other things that I never did before. I'm not glad it happened because a lot of people lost their lives and their livelihoods. But it was necessary for me to be grounded. No, this was a great year, man. Not money-wise, but soul-wise. It was a great year. And if we don't learn from this fucking year, we're never going to learn shit from anything anymore.